Hello. Welcome to Friday Night Live with Tammy. Now, I know there's always a bit of a delay, but if you're joining me, make sure you say hello down in the comments. You may have to give StreamYard permission for me to see your name. Otherwise, it'll just come up as Facebook user or YouTube user. So if you don't know me, my name's Tammy. Make sure you're saying who you are in the comments below, where you're watching from. Give me a big hello, a nice wave. And if you haven't been with me before, I'll just introduce myself and let you know that what I do is I help people who are struggling in their relationships to find safe ways to have conversations so that they can actually decrease the stress and the conflict that they're in. And ideally, never become a target of severe harassment or workplace bullying. That's kind of my background. But today, I want to talk about we got to stop shoulding on each other. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to give you some examples here. If you're watching me in the Relationship Revolution Facebook page, you may not know this, but we do a lot of training and challenges and education inside the Conquer Conflict Facebook group. That's a group that we have here. And so if you're looking to get some resources, I'm just going to open up Facebook here so I can make sure I see any comments. To help you with your relationships, head on over into that group and join us there. I wanted to just come on today and give you a quick win. I know it's a Friday night. I don't want to take up too much of your time. But if you have also been with me for a while, you know I'm in a 21-day challenge to come on live every day. And so I'm coming onto the page today to share a quick win and reach a few more people so I can help you out tonight. Because some of you might be sitting there at home or at work, looking at your partners, looking at your colleagues, and you're steaming, angry, frustrated, annoyed. And I do it too. I still catch myself doing this every once in a while. But you're shoulding all over them. And I'm going to tell you why that's not going to be a good idea. So when we get stuck on things like, well, first of all, let me back up and give you this example. Have you ever said, let me know in the comments below, money should grow on trees? Gosh, yes, I have. I have. And I sure wish that my friend Teresa's asking, I'm going to be watching hockey later, girl. I know it's on right now. Toronto versus Edmonton. I'm in my office just finishing up a few things. But have you ever said to yourself, money should grow on trees? Indicating that I've got this problem and the only thing that would solve it right now is if I could go in the backyard, pick off a few dollar bills there and pay my bills. I've said it. Well, what's the problem with that? I mean, that's some wishful thinking. And we know when most people say money should grow on trees, that they're really just coming out with a common societal statement that expresses a desire for more money and a dream that it would just land in our lap. But when these statements go a little bit further, so pay attention to the word should, right? When I say, well, John should call me before he arrives, or maybe he should call me if he's going to be late, but he never does. And so every time he's coming to my house, poor John, I pick on him all the time. Every time he comes to my house, and I expect him, say, for 5 o'clock, and he shows up at 5:15, he never calls. I get angry at the fact that he should call. I bring my quotes into the screen. He should call. But he ain't gonna, and he didn't. And so I'm putting my energy into something that I can't change. It physically cannot be changed because the moment has passed. And so I get stuck in my thinking. And there's actually 3 negative consequences from thinking about what others should do. I'll give you a few more examples. Perhaps you are sitting at home and you're looking at your spouse and you think they should eat healthier. They should exercise, they should talk more, they should do just something that you want them to do, whatever that is. If should is coming out of your mouth, I'm going to tell you why that's a problem here in a second, after one more example. Perhaps you are at, let's say you work in a building and you think it should be renovated, that they should have considered the airflow in it, that they should have considered how the rooms will be used. Like all of that stuff is past tense, is not going to change today, right? Or a colleague might say, we should be paid better for this job. Here's the problem with shoulds. There's 3 things I want to share with you. And the reason I share that with you tonight as a quick win is you can fix this one right away. You can start to pay attention to it. You can start to notice when it comes out of your mouth and other people's mouths and recognize that it's really wishful thinking and it's a pattern of being stuck. So the first thing it does is it actually creates unhappiness. right? I wish money came on trees too. And if I don't have a money tree in my backyard, I'm sitting here wallowing in the fact that I don't have enough money to do what I want to do. Shoulding on others and selves causes unhappiness. And that causes unhappiness as we become stuck and we no longer can look at solutions because we're focused on the problem. We're not able to explore potentials as to what actually could happen. Where's the conversation going to go if I'm stuck on a should? Should is going to leave me frustrated and angry and annoyed. And you know this because you've shoulded on people before. I just like saying that, shoulded on people. So when we get focused on that unsatisfactory conditions, we're not focusing on solutions and things that we can actually implement a change into. So will all things have a solution? No, obviously we can't change the flow of a building. We can't change the design of it. Those are some things we can't change. So why not look at the things we can influence, right? So rather than complain about the cards you were dealt, play the hand well that you have. The third thing that it does is it actually creates defensiveness in others. So, I mean, if you could just imagine working with somebody who's always complaining and always saying, oh my God, they should know better. They should understand. They should realize that this is the work we have to do. It really gets hard to work with somebody like that. There's not a lot of room. They're a very fixed mindset. And so the thing to do is to avoid shoulds. If you happen to find yourself using the word should a lot, then ask yourself, what is it I'm looking for? What is my problem and how can I solve it without being stuck on something I can't change? Focus on solutions. If you're working with somebody who's really stuck, ask them some questions. What is their problem? What is their pain? What do they need? What is it they want to achieve to help them get unstuck and start to remove the should out of the language? Now, I do catch myself saying it still from time to time. But it is one that is so glaringly obvious when I find myself stuck and I say, well, you should. And I can tell you, there's no good feelings that come from it. I feel resentment towards others. I feel disgust, disdain, disappointment. I'll give you an example of when I was working with, as a screener. And there's a security guard and myself out front. And the security guard would sit in my area because someone else had already made this kind of the norm. And I didn't enjoy that because it's a very small area. And I would say to myself, she should know better. Or if I come back from doing a walk around, and she's sitting in my chair and I'm like, well, she should get up when I come around because that's my chair. This is my workstation. But you know what that did? That just kept me stuck in fear. I didn't know how to tell her. I didn't know how to say something. And I was just hoping she'd get the hint. And all it did was make me more frustrated. And one day I actually said to a colleague, I said, I got to ask you a real question. How do you feel about these situations? And I listed a few things. And they're just like, doesn't bother me. And I'm like, okay, it's a me problem because I'm the one who's got the block. I'm the one who has the barrier. And I was focused on things I couldn't change. But what could I do? I could have a conversation, right? And so don't should all over yourself and don't should on others. That's all I wanted to share tonight. And I don't want to take up your time because it's a Friday night. But if you're watching the replay, #replay. Drop me your comments, your questions, your thoughts below. Let me know if you've caught yourself using the word should and how it has influenced your ability to get out of being stuck, or has it kept you being stuck? I think you'll find the latter. Take care, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.